Well, it's been an eventful 2.5 years, a couple of major trophies, around £600 million spent on players, and currently they sit 14th in the Premier League. Let's bring in a celebrity Manchester United fan for his thoughts. It's a very good morning to Olly Murs. Morning, Olly.
Morning, Olly. How are you, Paul?
I'm good, Ali. Good, Jeff. How are you?
Yeah, great, very good. Now, look, this doom and gloom merchant McCoist here says it could be 30 years before Manchester United win the Premier League title again. How does that make you feel?
Well, I mean, it's. I want to sit here and say, no, he's wrong. We're going to be back. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. But I think it's in the position we're in at the minute, 14th in the league. You know, it's hard to not agree that it could go that way. I mean, we obviously hope as United fans with Ineos coming in that the best is yet to come, and they're the best in class. That's what we've been told. You know, they've brought the best team in. We've got all the top guys behind the scenes now. So this is the biggest decision now. This is the big one. This is the one where now Ten Hag's gone. You know. Are we going to sit on the fence, or are we just going to go and find the next available manager, or are we actually going to go and buy a top manager? You know, is this the time to go out and go, right, we don't care who you are, what club you're at. If you want to, we want you. That's who we want. So it'd be interesting now. It's a massive decision for the club. It's huge.
Ollie, what do you think, mate? I mean, clearly we all know the rules, we all know the game, and the buck stops at the manager, the head coach. Results aren't good enough. Then you go. It's as simple as that. But how much do you think, as a United fan, should the players be sharing some of the responsibility, or how much responsibility should the players be taking for the level of performance and, in the end of the day, the dismissal of their coach?
No, I'm with you. I 100% agree that I think some of these players need to take some accountability. And listen, I go back a few years ago, and when Ten Hag came in, Ralph Rangnick openly said that the club needed open heart surgery and needed a real change. And I think that Eric came in after the Brentford game. We lost 4-0. It was a tricky start for Eric. He brought Casemiro in, and then people forget that first season, as a United fan, the optimism, we were so excited. I think we finished third in the league. Things looked like it was going in the right direction. He brought some new players in. Martinez had a good season. It just felt like we were going somewhere. And then I don't know what's happened along the way, really. It's kind of confusing. I think it seemed that half the players that were there before weren't playing very well. Rashford had a great first season with Ten Hag. I mean, he scored like 30 goals. And then the second season, last season, I mean, he was just not the same player. Fernandes has also had his moments. I mean, Luke Shaw hasn't been available. Maguire hasn't been great. So there's been a lot of the old players that people sit here and say we have spent a lot of money. I agree, and Ten Hag did spend a lot of that. Mm-hmm. But there's been a lot of them players haven't turned up. The big players, the senior players, just haven't turned up for us. But let's be honest. I mean, I've been a massive Ten Hag fan. I really felt he came in with great credentials. I felt like he was the guy that could really steer this ship in the right direction. But it has really been unacceptable what we've been watching this season, and I think I wasn't shocked when I saw the result. I think I was more shocked that they didn't do it a week ago. That was my I felt, Ali. I don't know what you think, Jeff.
Yeah.
I was a bit confused. I didn't know why they did it now. I thought that we would have done it with the international break. It would have given them a chance to get the right manager in, but he's coming. Whoever comes, I mean, obviously we have Rude there, but I was really shocked it was after the West Ham game, because if you actually watch the game for 45 minutes, we could have been 2 or 3-0, 4-0 up at half time, and then maybe we're sat now talking completely different. Football's a funny game, but it has been unacceptable. We haven't been good enough. So now it's who do we get in? Who's the next guy? And I've been listening a lot on talkSPORT over the last 24 hours. And I do believe, I listened to Simon Jordan yesterday, we do need a leader. I always felt with Ten Hag, there was a little bit about him. I just didn't think he was the leader that we need. We do need, I hate to say it because I'm not a massive City fan or a Liverpool fan, but you need a Jurgen type manager, Klopp. You need a Pep Guardiola, but I just don't know who's out there.
You know.
Who's got the minerals to take the job, because it's a massive job. It's huge, as you guys know. It's one of the biggest job, if not the biggest job in English football.
Yeah, but it looks. I mean, it looks to all intents and purposes as if it is going to be Ruben Amorim. And look, let's get this straight. Sporting Lisbon, that's a big club. If you go to Portugal as often as Coisty does now, you'll know that everybody out there is either a Sporting Lisbon or a Benfica fan. Yeah. They're a big club.
But Ten Hag was Ajax manager. He was, again, that's one of the biggest clubs in we're talking about the Portuguese league and the Dutch league. It's completely different.
It is. But whatever they do, though, Ollie, they've got to do it quickly, haven't they? They've got to be decisive and not let this dribble on.
Well, this is where I think, again, I'm not saying, listen, we're definitely not one of the best teams in the world at the moment on the pitch. So, but are you going to, this Ruben guy, I know he's done a fabulous job at Sporting, but it was the same as Erik Ten Hag. The football Erik Ten Hag was playing with Ajax, where they were in the Champions League when we got them, the team that he created and he had the credentials that Erik Ten Hag came with. It seems very similar to what this Ruben guy has done. He's come in at Sporting. They've won some trophies. They're doing brilliant. He seems to be everyone's favourite, but I don't know. I have no idea. Unai Emery for me is the guy that I would go for. I know Villa fans will hate me for saying that, but he's just done a fabulous job. He's a fantastic manager. He's proven that over many, many years with many, many clubs. And I just think, maybe we need to go and get the best in class. We need to go and say, we've got the money. Ineos can go, right, who wants it? Who's the guy we want to lead this team? Because I think they're all fabulous coaches, but it's that type of person you need to manage that club and be the type of character that can stand there in the press. I did feel with Eric in the end of the season when we won the FA Cup, when he stood out in the press and what he had to deal with the interviews, and I think it was like, wow, he really stood up.
Yeah.
But this season, it's just been excuses after excuses, and it's just been like, come on, Eric, you need to step up now, and that's what we need. We need a manager that has the personality to manage one of the biggest clubs in the world, and that's what we need. And I don't know who it's going to be. I really don't, but I'm not sure on this Ruben guy, but I could be wrong.
Ollie, thank you very much indeed,
mate. Talk to you, man. Take care, pal.
You too, guys.
Let's take a quick call, shall we? Jack is a Manchester United fan. Morning, Jack.
Good morning, how you doing?
Well,
Jack.
Good. What's you thinking?
Well, I've already seen the manager in question being labelled as the special one 2.0 this morning, obviously with the Jose Mourinho connection that he's got. So, that's quite exciting, I suppose. I think Mourinho was the best manager United have had since Ferguson's era came to an end. But the one thing that is concerning me the most is that, we've had manager after manager, player after player come in, players go in, players coming in. You've still got that dark cloud of the Glazers being there. Now, the thing is, I think they need to sell it full on. It's as simple as that. If Ineos buy it in full, great, or maybe somebody else. I think you're not going to change anything at the club. I mentioned this the last time I called in with Sancho. When he went on loan to Dortmund, I did say then, as long as the Glazers are there, I don't think anything's going to change. I would like to see what it would be like at the club with the Glazers gone and managers and players coming in and seeing if anything could change there, because that's the only thing we haven't seen at Manchester United that's not changed.
Jack, thank you very much. Indeed, discussion still goes on. Morning, gents. This is Manchester United you're talking about, says Stuart from Thurso. They should be able to get any manager they want. I agree with Ollie. Emery is the one who knows the league, knows the players, and has the tactics to put United back at the top of the league.
I'm not sure, Jeff.
Well, I'll tell you what, Stuart, one thing I am sure about is he's not going to be the Manchester United manager.
No, but because they're not... Manchester United have fallen so far now, Jeff, that it's not an automatic given that any manager would take the job. You asked somebody 10 years ago, it's the number one job in the world, and you go. But Unai Emery, for example, is doing an absolutely out of this world job at the Villa, and he's got a project that he wants to probably see continue. So, we're talking years ago, it's Manchester need to come knocking, bang, you're there if you're a manager, bang, you're there if you're a player. That's not the case anymore.
No, he's at a great club already. And you know what? He is surrounded by people that he knows and trusts that he's working with. And I think that's really important for Unai.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.